kuwa mkono ambao unalima ardhi, mlango wa kulima, kuwa mshindi, kuwa na uhakika sasa, kukulea mustakabali wa baadaye. Tufanye kazi pamoja na tukue pamoja, kuimarisha Kenya ni jukumu la Farm Kenya.
Well, good afternoon, welcome. This is the Farm Kenya Show, your one-stop shop for all matters agriculture, where we bring you up to speed on matters that are making headlines across the region, across the world, across Kenya, in terms of what exactly is at the forefront of the economy in terms of agriculture. We, of course, also bring you up to speed on information in this sector that will enable you make informed decisions regarding you, your produce, your money, and of course your livelihood in this sector. And as ever, we endeavor to bring you interesting guests and conversations that will of course continue to inform and entertain you in that same way. Now today here in the studio we have one such guest, a very interesting gentleman by the name Kizito Odhiambo. He is the founder and CEO of agriBORA, an organization that specializes around the warehousing storage aspect. Very, very interesting conversation. Of course, for many farmers, when they harvest, what do they do with their produce? A lot of them forced to go to market at very poor prices because of lack of storage. The brokers, of course, sometimes waiting at farm gate to take advantage of them and pay them bottom level prices for their produce, which they have worked so hard for. How do you get out of that rut? How do you get out of that hole? We have the answer for you here today. Let's jump right into the conversation today. And of course, Kizito is here with us. And a good place to start off would be for you to talk to us about agriBORA, talk to us about yourself as a person, why you went into this space, what your organization does, and a bit of the history.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. So, my background is in electrical engineering and information technology. So, I am not a farmer by profession, and I have not practiced farming also as a hobby. But the passion for farming came around 10 years ago when I was pursuing my education in Germany and was working with my family back
where the farmers are all on strike now.
Well, yes. So that was one of the points where I was supporting the family to basically just make a living. And they went into sugarcane development, soybean production. And that was my first company that I was running in 2013 to 2017, supporting smallholder farmers in the soybean production, the value addition. And I then got to experience firsthand through my interactions with over 1,000 farmers, the challenges and frustrations of growing and producing crop for market in Kenya. And so basically with an engineering background, my question was, is there any way to improve the processes, the systems around it, and can technology play a role? And that is what basically led to how we started agriBORA.
So let's jump into this conversation and then go deeper, because for me, those sticking points are the challenges that farmers really want to talk about and the solutions that they want. You say that you encountered the issues that farmers are facing and you saw them firsthand. What are some of these issues?
So I had imagined that the issue was information, which is an issue, basically information about the right time to plant, the market opportunities, so that is access to information. And the business model was trying to craft around access to information. Unfortunately, monetizing information is very difficult. So when we went back to look at what is the main challenges, and we found two main challenges. Access to finance, where am I able to get affordable credit to invest in my farm? Where am I able to get non-counterfeited products, inputs, fertilizers, right? We can talk about the challenges we have been experiencing this year. And then finally, the access to market, fair markets that can make sure that I get a return on my investment at a price and an amount that basically makes sense for me as a farmer.
And efficiently.
So
then going deeper into that, then you sort of find that to look at the first challenge that you've talked about, the fact that because of the asymmetry that exists in the market, farmers, so to say, will first not even know what to plant, when to plant it, But when they do start to get really into this activity, there are so many other hurdles. So what you're saying is that you have some sort of solution that then knits this entire equation together and puts farmers on much better footing.
Exactly. So basically the birth of agriBORA back in 2019 was around providing an ecosystem where farmers can access inputs and markets at the same point. And how we've done this, we have been operating since 2021 in Kenya, and we work with the local businesses at the rural communities, the agro-vets, the agro-dealers, where farmers go to for information and for the inputs, enable them to become a one-stop shop. So we call these business owners agri-hubs, a hub basically representing that one-stop place where farmers can get everything from information to the products that they require. So we provide these agri-hubs, the inventory that they require to sell to farmers. So if a farmer is in Western Kenya and they want to venture into soybean, into sorghum, into maize, we provide the right inventory to the agri-hubs that do well in that location, so that the farmer comes in and is able to buy the right variety of the crop at that hub. But one of the main challenges with access to inputs is usually the access to finance to actually be able to invest on your farm. And one of the main challenges that we have seen is that farmers don't have digital transaction histories. They are not able to walk to a bank and basically show a transaction history that can be able to be used by a bank to make a lending decision. So how do we solve that? We have enabled this agri-hub to have something we call agri-POS, a point of sale application, a very simple application you can download on your phone, and you're able to use it as a business owner to manage your inventory, manage your customers, and then sell to them. That helps you as a business to build a transaction history for yourself, but also for that farmer. So if you walk in and buy a bag of fertilizer and seed, I take your name and your telephone number, automatically I build a transaction history for you.
So you collect the data over time.
We help you collect that data for that farmer, knowing that the farmer will come back after a few weeks for top dressing fertilizer. They will come back to buy some animal feeds. So every time a farmer comes back to you to purchase, you build that history for the farmer, which then enables them to be able to have a transaction history that can be taken to a bank or a lender for input credit.
So one of the biggest challenges with finance is the issue of risk. That lenders look at farmers and see, this chap either can't pay or won't pay. And the answer to that then becomes either some sort of insurance or long-term work to ameliorate that risk through the creation of the data that you're talking about. Do you think there's actually room and space and the will to do that?
Absolutely. So there are two main risks, right? There's a production risk, and then there's a market risk. So when production risk, you've talked about insurance. What happens if there's a drought? What happens if there's flooding? What happens if the rains delay? So
or even locusts.
And the desert locusts, you know, we've had all these challenges, pests and diseases that come in. So that production risk basically is minimized, one, through information, in terms of advising the farmer about when to expect the rains to start, using drought-tolerant seeds that are, you know, can do well in a specific climate, given the changes that we see in the environment, and then also the insurance to make sure that you are able to cover all the different multi-perils that can happen. But on the other hand, it's a market risk. And this is where we saw the value of the platform in not only providing the technology to digitize transactions, but also to now provide an offtake opportunity. So as you are buying from your local agri-hub, you also have the information that the same local agri-hub can be the aggregator of your crop. So where do you get that? That the person who sold me seed and fertilizer is the same person who is able to buy my maize at the end of the season. So we've been able to crack that to make sure that by the time you're going to the bank to request for a loan, if you're within the agriBORA network, we expose to the financier that you have access to the right inputs, and you also have access to a market, which then de-risks the model for them.
So part of the challenge with that approach for me then would be so to say, challenges created by the glut and shortage aspects of our market, and that cycle, which then wreaks havoc with the pricing, which then makes it difficult to make lending decisions, or even when you talk about warehousing and those sorts of things, because you might take in a bag of maize and it's valued at 1,000 shillings today. Next week, because everyone else is in the market, it's fallen to 800 shillings.
Yes.
So if you cash in starting at losses, so how do you iron out those sorts of things?
And that's really the nut that we have to crack. And you know, we have been working tirelessly to look at this.
Yes.
Ever since 2021, most of our revenue is coming from output transactions, which means we have been buying from farmers and selling to off-takers in the market. And these off-takers are a wide range of off-takers. We have different groupings. The big off-takers that take huge volumes, they want consistency in you delivering every week, every month. And then you also have a sort of fixed pricing structure with them that makes sure that you can actually deliver 2,000, 3,000 metric tons per month to them, for example. But you also have smaller off-takers, smaller millers, animal feed producing companies. So we've been able to work with a number of these off-takers and been able to actually supply them. But what you're saying is the challenge that many farmers are facing right now. We're in the harvesting season, and because we are practicing rain-fed agriculture, everybody is harvesting at the same time, and so there is a glut in the market because everybody is selling. And so the prices take a dip. We have experienced this. We've experienced this when we were giving farmers access to finance in a product we call agriCOPA, where farmers were expected to pay at the end of the season. And that is how the financial service providers would sort of price and also build the product.
Structure,
we're going to give you a credit for just 9 months. So the moment you harvest, you pay us back because you have sold. But that is the
when the price is
wrong time for the farmer to sell, because the prices are poor and the bank is on my neck wanting their money back. So the solution to that is what we're bringing called agriGHALA, basically, which is a storage solution for smallholder farmers. To support smallholder farmers anticipate the better prices without storing their products back at home. Why? Because when I store my products at my homestead, I don't have the right conditions for storing. That is where you find infestation happening. That is where you find rodents eating up on the grain, from the bottom they eat. And then at the end of the day, you don't have quality maize to go to the market. So the government of Kenya in 2019 introduced a new law called the Warehouse Receipt System Act, which has been implemented now since 2021. And it provides for a structure where you have a warehouse operator that is licensed by the government to provide safe storage conditions for depositors, which means you're able to come with your 50 bags of maize and deliver that to a licensed warehouse, which has the right conditions, parameters to make sure that they can store your crop to make sure that it retains the quality as you anticipate the prices to improve. So you are able to wait, and then after 2 months or 3 months, you're able to sell.
So then in that equation, where is the place of contract farming then? So that for farmers, it creates a bit of predictability. For you as an aggregator, it creates some sort of predictability that you can then on-sell to the people who require specific amounts at specific times and those sorts of things. Is that something you're exploring?
Absolutely. And I think that is one of the key opportunities that we see now getting exposed in this new setting of agriGHALA. Because agriGHALA is all about safe storage and better prices. Which means, as a farmer, when I store, we have built a USSD system where once you bring your 50 bags of maize to be deposited and you walk back home, you can dial the USSD and confirm the 50 bags are still there. The next point is price discovery. So price discovery means, what is the price today? In the market, farmers are selling their maize between 3,000 to 3,300 as of today. In the next 4 weeks, or by the time we are going to take our kids back to school, that price will have changed. You're able to comfortably look at the price on your phone and see what the price is today. And if you say, I now want to sell my maize, you're able to easily liquidate just from the comfort of your home using the USSD. You can sell 25 bags and the money goes into your bank account or your M-Pesa or wherever you are able to get your money.
So for the company itself, how do you then do price discovery? What data are you basing the pricing on? Is it that you sample different markets? Are you working with someone maybe in government, or where is this data coming from?
So there are two ways to go about it. One is we as agriBORA have our own price discovery, which comes from the relationship that we have with our off-takers, the markets that we serve. We serve well over 50 different off-takers locally in Kenya, which means at any one point we are delivering to this customer or the other customer. Any customer you have in your mind, we have probably served them over the last 4 weeks. So that is one way of price discovery, through business relationships that we have, through contracts that we already have, and we are then able to tell the farmer, as agriBORA, we are able to buy your maize at this price. That is the business we are in. But beyond that, the depositor is also able to engage in commodity trading platforms, which are existent. The government has already supported the development of COMEX, which is one of that commodity marketing platforms, where you are then able to basically get all the prices that are coming from different traders, and then you're able to make your decision. So that already unlocks opportunities for farmers to make better decisions in terms of who am I selling to. You can sell it through the commodity trading, or you can also sell through your, and if you get a better price with your local off-taker or a client outside, you're able to come back to the warehouse and basically take your product out and sell it to the client. But to answer your question around the contract farming, I think contract farming is already working for large-scale farmers quite well. The challenge is how to enable contract farming for smallholder farmers. And I think this is now where we are looking at the innovation in this space. By being able to store your crop, you're actually already starting to interact with the market in a way of saying, hey, I am seeing that the market can provide this price in February. And I am then able to actually go into futures and trading into the future and say, why don't I get a contract to deliver in 6 months for this off-taker. One of the limitations has been the land sizes that we have as Kenyans. Everybody has a kashamba,
2 acres.
and that is impossible for a serious off-taker to give you a contract. Because even for us as a big off-taker from the farmers, we struggle to get some of the big lucrative deals because the off-taker is really looking for volume. So if you don't have the volume, it's very difficult to get a contract. You are told to queue up, right? Like every other person, to be able to deliver your crop. But if you want a contract, we are going to give you a contract to deliver 2,000 metric tons in a month. In a month. We don't care if it is raining or if it is flooding.
Sunny,
and it is sunny, or if there's snow one day in Kenya. We want our 2,000 metric tons. That is something that a smallholder farmer is not able to do. And so that is where the whole ecosystem of storage and basically leveraging this with more farmers can provide an opportunity to then also bring this benefit to the farmer, where they are now able to see, oh wow, now I can invest in a bigger piece of land because I can now wait for the market to stabilize, and I now have a safe storage. And it's not just about safe storage. It is about financing, because most of these farmers, most of our farmers will want to sell immediately, not because they don't want to make a better margin in 2 months, but because they have financial constraints. They have emergencies. Kids want to go back to school. There is Christmas coming in. There are needs of the family. So what this system of agriGHALA and the warehouse receipt is providing is something called a warehouse receipt, which is like a title deed document, which farmers are able to use.
When you think about crops like tea and coffee and the rest, the infrastructure around the collection, monetization, aggregation of this exists, essentially because government was taking this seriously and wasn't treating it the way they treat the usual sort of variable crops that we have. Would this sort of aggregation, either through cooperatives or something else, be something that would work in this space that you're talking about, so that if farmers were started to be organized in one direction like that, would it be something that would make a significant difference?
Absolutely. And I think we have seen that the coffee and tea sector is well structured, well developed.
Yes.
This is working. In fact, even going further to the rice value chain.
Yes.
This is something that is working. And it's been a struggle for smallholder production of particularly grains,
yes.
right? Where I think with this new approach of
yes.
warehouse receipt system, farmers are going to embrace that collective bargain opportunity that
yes.
that comes in by working through cooperatives
yes.
to actually put your grain together, maybe also license your own warehouse and then use that as a bargaining power. We have millers, off-takers, who now come to our warehouse
yes.
and basically look at the commodity that is in the warehouse and say, this is what I want. I can come and pick by myself, and I'm willing to give you a premium price. So that is an opportunity that farmers miss out on by practicing agriculture from a very individual perspective
yes.
with a 2-acre piece of land instead of coming together as a collective for that collective bargaining opportunity.
So this seems to be a pervasive challenge across the agriculture value chain. In fact, to the point that in previous iterations of the warehouse receipt system, different organizations have tried it, different companies, even at Africa level, and you find that they would literally stumble along the way because of consistency, getting the farmers to take this seriously, trust issues, things like that. What can be done differently to enable this stick this time around?
Yeah. So I think there is a lot of trust that has been eroded
yes.
in the ecosystem as we speak. And this is a challenge to get that trust or to win that trust back from farmers because they have been exploited. One of the main challenges that I think we need to address already is the fact that the warehouse receipting
yes.
is not a standalone product. It would not work as a standalone product
yes.
where I start a business as a warehouse operator,
yes.
and the work is for you to bring your product,
your
I will store, and
yes.
then you come back and pick it
shillings,
after 2 months and then go sell.
Yes.
There's no business case that can work only at that point. And we need, big problems need big solutions.
Yes.
And this is a big problem, which means you need to look at a 360-degree solution
yes.
to this problem, which means you need to walk the journey with the farmer to make sure that while they are depositing their commodity,
yes.
they are also getting access to a market. It is not a must for a farmer to deposit their maize for 3 months or 6 months and wait for the price. In fact, you can wait for 2 weeks
yes.
or even 4 weeks and
yes.
sell your maize.
Improve, yes.
So you need a service provider who is able to walk with you the journey to say, hey, I am bringing this product in, cognizant of the fact that it is going to add cost to me because there is an intake fee
yes.
and there is a monthly storage fee that you incur as a farmer. It's a service that is provided by the operator.
Yes.
So while I'm incurring these additional costs, I would like you to help me get the best markets out there. So it needs to have that market dynamic coming in to see who is the off-taker, not just the miller or the animal feed, but also exploring other markets, both locally and externally, to support that price to become a bit more stable for smallholder farmers to benefit from.
Okay. We need to go to a short commercial break, but when we come back, I think we need to discuss first, of course, handling, because when you look at other markets and our market, the fact that we tend to handle our produce, so to say, in gunias, burlap sacks and that sort of thing. Other places you see handling in different ways, which enables it to go through different value chains, including merging. We have challenges about quality consistency across different farmers, so that farmers could be next to each other, but their qualities are vastly different based on input and what they planted and that sort of thing. So I think really quite a bit to unpack, but we want to go on that short commercial break now. But before that, let's look at the commodity prices across different markets here in Kenya.